So here's what you do when you don't want someone to see you telling your lies so that they can use it and record you telling these lies. This is what you do. Well, you just won't see my lies. Wrong. You can block all of us, and we'll keep coming back. Because we're not going to let you sit out here and tell these lies. It's disrespectful to Devin and Damon. You're disrespecting the state. You're sitting there telling lies, and as long as you're out there doing this, I'll be right here doing what I do. And you can look at my channel, and you can look at our groups, and decide for yourself who's the fucking liar. You keep saying that you don't like being called a liar. We know why. That's what you do. You just block them. Block them, shut them down. And supporters, give Rich a hard time about his page being a debate page. It's not a debate page. You guys don't want a debate page because every time you have a debate page with us, you lose. You lose. I opened up my group years ago, and I had supporter administrators, Stephanie Hopkins, non-supporter administrators. We had both groups in there, and you call the truth about the case an attack. The supporters were not being attacked. They were just being told where they're wrong, and every single fucking one of them left. They all left. Quit running from the fucking truth. Or don't run to her because she gets things wrong in this case. God love her. Is this how you defend Darlie? Oh, he doesn't believe she's innocent? Block him. Block him. Just block him. Block him. But he did molest her. No, he didn't. No, just block him. That's not what superficial means. Oh, yes, it is. Block him. I've done everything in my power, y'all, to harass this woman. If you feel like the truth about Darlie's case is harassment, then fucking don't be on here. Why is it you guys cover for your dad? Are you doing the same thing here, covering for Darlie? Are you covering for Darlie? So when you come out and you make up things about me as if I was ever harassed you, and I knew you'd say that before you did. We talked about it before me and you ever had a message together. Me and my group. I was telling them, just watch. I said, I'll be as nice as I can be to her, and she will flip it. And they were fucking pissed at me. You're so predictable, your family. And you did flip it. Anybody that watches the interactions between you and I could clearly tell where the harassment and the belligerent and the insult was coming from. And the lies. You gave me two good things out of ever talking to me for this case, for our side. One is you claimed Darlie lied on the stand. You didn't flat say that. But you said he is not a molester, and your sister said he was. Who's lying? That's one thing you did. And the other thing is when we were in private conversation, it was kind of late. My kid's room is only a few feet away from here. If I'm just talking, it's not so bothering. But when you got somebody that's nah at you, which you would have been, because you did it last time, I didn't want them to hear it. It was late at night, and you called me, and I said, I can't right now because my kids are sleeping. You called me again, and I said, look, I can chat, but I can't take the call because my kids are sleeping. You guys can all see this. You can all see it. So after 7 times in 3 minutes of you calling me, after I politely asked you, my kids are asleep. So my kids are sleeping, you said. I don't give a shit. How disrespectful can you be to me and my kids? And my shitty ass comment back to you that makes perfectly good sense was, it must be hereditary because Darlie didn't care about her kids sleeping either. If Darlie saw you doing what you're doing out here and making a fool out of yourself and getting caught in lie after lie after lie and just blocking anybody that knows the facts in this case, trying to convince me what a medical term for superficial was, solely corrected you yesterday. She didn't mean to, but she did. Trying to convince me some medical term doesn't mean what it means. I think it's best you stay quiet. There's a reason they kept Dana off the stand. Dana was actually there the day of the murders and she wasn't on the stand. There's a reason why they kept her off the stand. There's a fucking reason. And Danelle, you're the reason. Your behavior. Just like your mother's. You said you don't want me to turn into my mother. So you're acknowledging the bad behavior that she has. And Tracy said the judge had Alzheimer's, which he didn't. So he shouldn't be speaking on it. He shouldn't be handling the case. Well, Mama Key has a lot of health problems too, so maybe she should stop speaking on Darlie too, right? This is what pisses me off. Anybody can clearly see that I had no intentions of harassing Danelle. I had no intentions of being mean to her. I only had intentions of sitting back, being nice as I possibly could, and let them tell us their behavior. Let them show us what we already know. Typical supporter behavior. Not all of them are like that. If anyone keeps open-minded and they look at the facts in this case and watch the non-support side of this, you will not feel like she's guilty or innocent anymore. Correct me. If anyone watches the non-support YouTubes and groups and investigates the case for themselves, you will no longer feel she is innocent. That is a fact. Unless you just want to be right. And Danelle has said that too. She said, honestly, I just want to be right. Add her own fucking words. I think Danelle should stick to nursing. Just because us little web sleuths, us little crime sleuths don't have degree, don't have any law behind us, doesn't mean we don't know it and we can't figure out the cases. Before a lawyer became a lawyer, what was he? A student. So it takes a little bit of learning and understanding cases. And we know damn well that the Innocence Project, the only reason they're asking the public for leads, like she said, because she gave me one reason why she wanted the Innocence Project to call people, or people to call the Innocence Project, correction, is because they were just pestering the hell out of the CIU because all this interest in Darlie's case, She lied. Because that's not why she wanted you to call. She says in her video she wanted you to call with any leads. Any leads. Now, and I'll go back to being a little bit honest. I'm going to be honest, not a little bit. I'm going to be completely honest. I feel sorry for Danelle. I feel sorry for Darlie Key. I feel sorry for Dana, Darren, all of them. Because they're under Darlie's spell. Right? If she could sit there and say that these people were under Greg Davis's spell, these people are under Darlie's spell. Darlie had me convinced that she didn't do it. Her letters are sweet. The way she talks. She's very convincing. So now, for you, and I won't block you from my channel. You're more welcome to come over here. But for you, you can't block the facts. You can't delete the truth. You can't redact the facts in this case. The fact is your sister has killed all of you. It must be like a living death to walk in your shoes now. To want to believe so strongly that your sister didn't do this, knowing that you can't believe it. You want to do, she said, I'm doing what any good sister would do. Let that sink in a little bit. Well, I know that my sons, when my other boy committed his crime, there wasn't none of them out here trying to say he was innocent. You know what a good sister would do? A good sister would go to her and say, stop the fucking lies. Quit the games. Tell us that you did this. That's what I did to my son. And he wouldn't. I had to tell him, I'll go into this story again. We all went to see him, like the first prison thing. Me and a couple of my boys and my ex-wife. And as soon as we went in there, he started with that innocent. I'm innocent. I didn't do this, And they're all going, yeah, we know you didn't, blah, blah. Nah, but, we know you didn't, blah, blah, blah. And it just pissed me off. It just hit me like, no, it hit me. Because of the baby. Because of Braden. And sitting there right at that visit, I said, look, I don't want to hear that innocent shit anymore. I said, we're not here to talk about the case. You're here for a reason. So my other son got pissed off at me. We had a bit of an argument right there at the visit about it. And then my son said something. My boy Luke said something else. I said, do you want me to come in here wearing a Justice for Braden shirt? And then he's telling me to be quiet because he didn't want the other visitors to hear that shit. I mean, it's honestly. That's how it ended. I don't want to hear that from him. I know he's guilty. I don't want to hear it from him. I am not going to disregard the victim. And then they say this and that and this and, that I did this. And when I wasn't doing stuff, when I wasn't giving them what they wanted, they made it up. Anywho. You can't block the truth.